Hello everyone, it's Uncle Destiny here with you again, and it's time for the reading for the month of April. So let's go ahead and see what the ancestors have for us, and hope you all enjoy spring. Alrighty, so we've thrown the bones down, and we have a rather wide spread this time. We've got a few that went off the reading surface, and as I've said in the past, those things that do not end up on the reading surface are not part of the reading. So, what we've got here, like I said, we have a spread, and just because of the lighting, there's a couple of bones over here. But let's look at our central grouping here. Now we've got our three main bones, two of which are crossing, and one of which is over here. Now, this one over here, this one's family, this one is work, this one, I'm hearing that it is about decisions. So work and decisions are going to be very important in this coming time, and they are the central focus because it's at the middle of the reading itself. And you notice that we have the copper piece next to it, and over here we have the quartz and the shell piece. So let's again go back to these. As I said, we have work and decision making, and we also have the copper piece coming in with spiritual energy. So this month of April is going to have some decisions coming up, some very intricate ones that relate to how you're dealing with your spiritual purpose, when it also relates to work, and decisions to be made around it. And we also have a number of support bones as well. Now, why is that all significant? Why is making a decision important in relation to work? Now, it may mean that there's going to be decisions made on whether you're staying at a job or leaving, whether a promotion is going to be offered to you, or perhaps a position change. There also may be significant aspects in not so much the big details, but in the small ones, or what may seem small. So if you're making a decision about whether or not someone can do a task, or someone can be helped or not, it might seem minor to you, but it will have a bigger impact. It's the aspect of the ripples of that decision will travel out further, and that's what I'm sensing here with the copper piece, that the decision you make has a ripple effect, and it has a much greater ripple effect than you realize. So when you make small decisions, always make sure you're making sure that these are done to the highest possible good, as well as that your decisions are thinking about what are the ramifications, not just in this moment, but in the days to come. So there's a saying, make your decisions based off of what will be good in 7 generations. So that's not just big decisions, that's also small decisions. So there's going to be a big focus around that. Now, that also supports it too with these parts here, because again, we still have more support bones, but we also have a lot of the rib bones in this. So we have both the spinal bones, we have both bones related to the stabilization of the tail, as well as the breathing. So this is all about balance and breathing in relationship to spirit. And spirit is going to also inform you, because there's an aspect where this is sort of flowing in to the spirit, to the copper piece, and going into the decision making between work and the choice. And the choice here was represented by our horizontal bone, because you have the horizon. It's the point where you're either going to see what's coming to you, or you know what's before you. But the fact that the decision is work bone is also there, and as I see it, it's off in the distance. So the impact of what decision you make in April, it's going to appear much later on. So it's not going to be a one immediate reaction. It's going to be something you're going to see down the road. So again, that's where the aspect of thinking about your choices and your responses as being something that is up to 7 generations means that it's something that you're going to see down the road. That may mean that someone you helped puts in such a good word for you, or has such a good outcome, that it eventually comes back and you get maybe a promotion, or you may end up helping somebody, and down the road you end up running to them, and they can help you. So there's a classic story about the story of the man who pulls the thorn from the lion and shows compassion to this small act. And then when he finds himself in the arena with that same lion, the lion doesn't attack him. So there's thinking about that. The small acts can lead to much bigger decisions and responses down the road. So think about them. Act what's going to be in the best long term. And again, long term thinking as opposed to short term thinking. And you'll benefit from that. Now, we're going to move over here to the quartz piece and the shell. And we also have the broken rib bone here, as well as one of the tailbones. Now remember, quartz piece represents memory, thought, lessons of the past. It is the crystallized experience that you've had. Now the fact that we have the shell piece, which is turned so we can see the outside, tells me that this is more of a matter about dealing from the exterior. So this is a matter of remembering what happened in the past, and it's going to be coming from outside of you. But there's also a bit of strife. Now, the memory that might be coming to you most of all is about something negative, something painful, and you need to protect yourself. Now, if so, you've got to figure out what that is. And always act from a place of protection and safety, but do not act from a place of vengeance. And I think I see that as being the fact that the balancing bone is much closer to the shell than it is to the sharp piece, the broken rib bone, tells me that this is much more about protecting yourself. It's not about acting out, it's about protection. It's about safety, protecting your vulnerability. And there's a memory that's going to come. Now, something may trigger it, or someone may trigger it. But your goal is not to be lashing out. Your goal is to protect yourself. How do you surround yourself with people that support you? How do you surround yourself in situations that support and keep you safe in when this situation comes? It's not about how you attack. It's not about how you defend or how you're offensive to it. It's about protecting yourself, keeping yourself safe from the exterior. So it might be encountering someone who was a bully to you. It might mean encountering someone or some situation that reminds you of a painful time, like a loss. It's all about how do you just protect yourself, have safety, but you don't need to lash out. Okay? So let's go over here to the family bone. Now this one's it's also at the edge. Now, I get the feeling that there's going to be a shift with the family situation that's going to be actually going out. Someone might be moving. Someone might be deciding they want to have more space from you. But there's something going to be moving out. Spring is coming in, is here and coming in, and it's growing out over all the old and hiding all the negative. So family, wouldn't worry too much about it right now. But there's something that's going to be making motion towards leaving. All right. Now, for our other stripe bones we've got over here, we've got these. Then we have some spinal, we have some rib, and we also have some balance ones. So here we have, again, it's a matter of spirituality. Spiritual balance is going to be going on here. And it's a little spread out, but it's all about some parts coming together for the spiritual. It's a sort of an arc. And that arc is what you're going to be is something you're going to be confronting with the aspects of friendships. So how do you balance and find spiritual strength in those relationships? What is the arc of it? And because sometimes an arc can also mean that something is going to end. How can you end in a positive way? Spiritually, metaphysically, thoughtfully. So I'm not saying your friendship's going to end, but you are in an arc, and you need to always keep in mind what is the spiritual aspects of it. What is the lessons of those relationships? Okay. And then over here we've got these bones, both the spinal, and this is also the one I often talk about as being the similar to the pelvic bone. So there's something new coming in, but it's also going to require a lot of thought, a lot of arranging mentally. So focus on that. Overall, the month of April, if I had to say there was a theme for it, there's a theme about decisions, there's a theme about balance, and there's a theme about safety. So focus on those and you'll be all right. So on behalf of the ancestors, I'm Uncle Destiny. I wish you a good spring.